Nastasia Arinsa spoke to David North, the Chief Transformation Officer, for more.
It has been a resilient year for the business. It was a very tough year for South Africa, as we all recall. I mean, COVID, we started the year with quite a serious COVID situation. Thankfully, those conditions eased. But the civil disorder and the rioting last July had a really big impact. At one stage, over 760 of our stores were closed. We did recover from that, and we pointed out that in our fourth quarter, our sales had grown to 7.4%, and then we've also explained today that in the first couple of months of this financial year, our sales have grown to 9.9%. So we're pleased with that. We're very pleased, actually, that in a tough year, we've helped South Africans at a tough time economically. So our internal selling prices increased by 2.9% compared to CPI food of over 6%. So we're pleased to have helped customers with that. And we're also very pleased with the performance in our Boxer business and also in clothing and in online sales in particular. In all of those areas, they are ones that we've highlighted as growth areas in our new plan that we spoke about today.
So a lot of people are quite familiar with the macroeconomic environment in South Africa and some of the pressures that the consumers have to endure. What do the rest of Africa look like from a macroeconomic perspective? I mean, are there any pressures or perhaps any highlights?
It has been tough in the rest of Africa as well. So if I pick out two markets in Zambia. We customers in Zambia had a difficult year. The COVID situation in Zambia, I think, exacerbated the economic difficulties in the country. There was then, as you recall, the election in August of last year and some economic instability around that. We had a better second half, actually, in Zambia. Great work by our team locally. And there was more economic stability after the elections last year and some firming in the value of the kwacha and hopefully some continued strengthening in the copper price that meant that we had a better second half of the year in Zambia. In Zimbabwe, we saw very good volume growth and the retailers always like to see volume growth. Again, well done to the team there. We actually opened 3 new stores in Zimbabwe. So pretty tough conditions all around in across Africa. But actually, the one thing we do always remind our stakeholders is that we are actually a profitable business outside South Africa.
So let's talk about the newly announced strategy. I mean, what motivated that? And perhaps let's talk about some of the strategic and investment plans surrounding it. Well,
our CEO, Peter Boona, took over last April, so just over a year ago. And it's absolutely right that having taken over as the new CEO, he looked afresh at the business. He identified our strengths and also areas where he felt, alongside the leadership team, that we could do better. We listened to customers and we listened to our very strong franchisee community. And he talked today about how he's very fond, or how customers are very fond of the brand. Pick n Pay is a love brand. In Boxer, we've got the fastest growing discounter in Africa. And we have in Smart Shopper the best loyalty scheme in the market. And so what we've said as a result of that in the strategy today is we want to double down. We want to seize the growth opportunities. So we want to double Boxer sales, and we're going to open 200 new Boxer stores over the next 3 years. We want to grow our online sales, and we've announced today a really exciting commercial agreement with the Takealot Group to create a new Pick n Pay food, grocery and liquor offer on the Mr. D platform. So we think customers are going to be very, very excited about that. That will launch in August and will be nationwide by the end of the financial year. And we also talked about things that we must do better for customers. And so Peter talked about the Pick n Pay part of the business, Pick n Pay retail, and talked about how when we talk to customers, what they tell us is that Pick n Pay is spread across the market and across a very broad range of customer segments. customers want to see a more personal offer from us, and therefore we are going to reorganize Pick and Pay Retail into two brands, one catering for the higher end of the market and one for the middle end of the market. And we've called that second, the first one Pick and Pay, and the second one, we've got the project title of Pick and Pay Project Red. So we're excited about all of those things, and we think customers will be excited too.
One of the other issues, and I must bring this up, is that over the past couple of months, we've been talking about supply chain issues. We're starting to see those pressures, at least when you look at some of the US earnings, for instance, Walmart, etc. To what extent is Pick and Pay concerned about some of the supply chain issues? Does it impact you at all, given this new strategy?
Well, we're very lucky in this country in terms of the food and grocery supply chain, that a large majority of what we buy and what we eat is actually produced locally, and that's a fantastic strength of the country. Our chairman this morning spoke about 96% of what we sell in terms of food being locally produced, and that's fantastic. Inevitably, as you say, Natasha, inevitably, what is happening in the rest of the world, the terrible situation in the Ukraine, has a knock-on effect, because a lot of food products are actually traded globally, and so that will have an effect. We have said today that we do see inflationary pressures in the market. We do think, unfortunately, that those are going to increase through the course of this year. We never take that line down. So I talked about how we managed to contain inflation. We'll continue on our journey of running the business more efficiently. And every time we run the business more efficiently, every rand we save, we seek to give back to the customer through lower prices. So we'll carry on doing that.